And now at 5, heat alerts and storms on radar. I'll have local analysis and update any watches and warnings in your forecast.
And an Indianapolis City County councilor kicked out of her caucus. The reason her fellow Democrats say they removed her and what she's now saying about all of it.
Also, a former Ben Davis coach now in court. We have the crimes he's accused of committing against a teenage student. Live from Indy, you're watching 13 News.
It is getting hot and stormy across central Indiana tonight, making it steamy.
Yes, thanks for joining us here on 13 News at 5 o'clock. What you're looking at here is live Doppler 13 radar, and it shows the storms that are in the area right now, and these could potentially impact some outdoor plans that you might have set for this Wednesday night. Angela's here. She's been tracking this weather and the storms on this weather impact alert day.
Yes, we started our 4 o'clock news with a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Marion County. Right now, no warnings, but I'll warn you, these storms have heavy rain, lots of lightning, and the potential of 50-plus-mile-per-hour winds. So you said it, they will have an impact on some outdoor plans. So let's get to radar and show you where those storms are right now and the movement. A lot of this is lifting up to the north, where we've got lots of heat, lots of humidity. You can see the storm movement very slowly pushing now north of Indianapolis. These storms will produce the potential of a couple of inches of rain in a very short amount of time. That will lead to quick flash flooding, and it will also lead to some slowdowns for the afternoon and evening drive. We've got heavy rain lifting just north of Brownsburg. So heads up, Lebanon. I know you've got some rain now, but additional rain moving your way along with Whitestown and Zionsville. We have rain in Carmel, raining north side of Marion County. This will continue to lift north toward Fishers and Noblesville. We also have additional showers and thunderstorms from Rushville south to Greensburg. Remember, when you hear thunder, time to move those outside plans inside. We are technically under the threat of severe weather for the rest of this evening, but right now no watches or warnings. Where we don't have rain-cooled air, we still have heat index values in the triple digits. It's going to be a hot, muggy evening with a few storms around.
Super hot, so we're all trying to stay cool, and along those lines there are some appliances you might want to avoid during the day if you're looking for ways to help keep your house cooler.
And we're talking about appliances which give off a lot of heat. Things like your oven or stovetop, washer, dryer, your dishwasher. When cooking, think about using the microwave or grilling outside.
And if you have to wash your clothes, use cold water and air dry your laundry. Better yet, try to do all of this at night, hopefully when it's a little bit cooler. There is another shakeup to report at the Indianapolis City County Council tonight. Members of the Democratic caucus voted to remove fellow Democrat Krista Carlino. And late this afternoon, she reached out to 13 News with a statement, and in it, she explains her side.
Marina Silva's been looking into this story all day. And Marina, what's Carlino saying now?
Well, she sent a letter she wrote essentially apologizing for her words and expressing that she wants to move forward.
And furthermore, I am calling for the resignation of our council president and vice president from their roles.
Councilor Krista Carlino is now apologizing for how she recently called for the resignation of the council's president and vice president at a public meeting amid her concerns over the investigation into the sexual harassment allegations against some members of Mayor Hogsett's staff. In a letter explaining her actions, she writes, "I apologize for the extreme accountability I called for in such a public way without you there to discuss or defend your leadership and actions. I'm sorry for not affording you the chance to address my concerns as individuals." On Tuesday night, members of the Democratic caucus voted to remove Carlino from that caucus. Councilor Ron Gibson confirmed her removal to 13 News.
We have 18 Democrat members of the caucus, and 17 were there. And let me say, there was we that voted this way.
The growing conflict within the City-County Council stems from heated discussions over the findings of the investigation into the sexual harassment allegations. Carlino is the chair of the investigation committee. In her statement, she adds, "While the treatment of survivors in the June full council meeting was deeply disturbing and the basis of the grounds for my calls for stepping down, it has been misconstrued that the two of them personally indirectly impacted the investigation, for which I have no claim or proof. Nor is this a claim I'm making today. Carlino says she takes full accountability for her statements, and she wants to remain a member of the Democratic caucus.
Now, whether she could get reinstated on the Democratic caucus, we don't know yet. Councilor Gibson told 13 News Tonight it's more than likely the caucus will vote to reinstate her. Carlino also said in that letter she is stepping down from her committee assignments. She says she wants to give her complete focus to the constituents in her district.
Marina, thank you. A Johnson County judge now will sentence a former teacher in August for crimes against children. The jury found Shane Williams, pictured here, guilty of 2 counts of child molestation, child solicitation, and dissemination of matter harmful to minors. Williams was a teacher at Greenwood Middle School at the time of the crimes. The prosecutors say that 2 children came forward accusing him of abuse. The prosecutor also released this statement saying in part, quote, "We will be seeking decades in prison for this monstrous human being, so he will not be able to inflict his brand of torment on another child."
A former Ben Davis High School track and field coach was led in court in handcuffs and a jail uniform today.
Rich Knight takes us inside the courtroom for this initial hearing for Harrison Goss. He is now charged with having sex with a 16-year-old girl who was under his supervision.
Harrison Goss faces 5 counts of child seduction as a child care worker. He was an assistant track coach at Ben Davis High School and worked in special education at another Wayne Township school. In court records, a 16-year-old girl says that Goss gave her rides home after practice. She told police that Goss drove her to a Wayne Township elementary school parking lot in March and pressured her into having sex with him in the back seat of his car.
What is your date of birth, sir?
7/10/1998. Goss is 26 years old with no criminal history. He turned himself in Monday and spent the last 2 nights in the Marion County Jail.
Court records say that Goss allegedly sent the girl text messages about getting a hotel room during spring break so they could be together. And police say when they seized Goss's phone with a search warrant, the screensaver on his phone was a photo of the girl.
Due to the nature and circumstances, court does find that Mr. Goss is at a higher risk of potentially causing harm to those members of the public that are associated with these charges and allegations, and thinks it's appropriate to put a higher than normal bond on this.
The judge set bail at $30,000 bond or $3,000 cash.
Is there anything you can say about the nature of the relationship with the alleged victim?
All I know is what's been kind of in the media and the charges that said that they were at Ben Davis High School together.
Wayne Township Schools put Goss on leave in April after a friend of the girl documented text messages and notified a school dean. The school district says Goss has since been fired. In Indianapolis, Rich Knight, 13 News.
Trial now scheduled for Goss August 25th. Jail records indicate that he posted bond this afternoon. Goss is now required to be on GPS monitoring and cannot contact the alleged victim in this case.
Tonight, the Jackson County Sheriff's Department is investigating a deadly crash involving a tractor. A woman and a 4-year-old boy died after it hit them. It happened around 7:40 Monday night in Reading Township. That's northeast of Seymour. First responders took the child to a hospital in Seymour where he later died. The 68-year-old woman was flown to a Louisville hospital before passing away early this morning.
Here in Indiana at the State House, the next legislative session is still 7 months away, but that's not stopping Indiana lawmakers from now figuring out which topics could find their way into some proposed bills coming up next year.
13 News State House reporter Emily Longnecker is here to tell us how it all works.
Lawmakers announced the topics they're going to study this summer during what is called summer study committees. And these committees give lawmakers a chance to take an in-depth look at topics they believe impact their constituents. This year, the topics range from water safety education for kids and maternal mental health to artificial intelligence and the economic impact of how Indiana's recreational land is used. And that's just naming a few. Some of the topics have already been a part of previous legislation that may have not made it over the finish line in past sessions.
It's a really good opportunity for people to come in and testify or to listen to an important topic. It's important for the representatives and senators to kind of inform themselves as they look forward to it. Maybe it doesn't end up in a proposed bill for the next legislative session, but people are always going to walk away with more facts and more information about that particular subject.
This isn't just a bureaucratic exercise. The interim is when really important bipartisan work gets done. And this is the work that is happening for Hoosier families. And we are so excited that as a Democratic caucus, we were able to get some real wins, that we were able to ensure that we will be studying and talking about such important topics that are going to really be meaningful for working families.
So what comes next? Well, in the coming weeks, leadership in both the House and Senate, Democrats and Republicans, will assign members to those summer study committees, and they will spend the summer and fall taking a look at these topics in preparation for the 2026 legislative session. At the Indiana State House, Emily Longnecker, 13 News.
The Indiana Fever are parting ways with guard DeWanna Bonner.
They have now signed Arie McDonald for the rest of this season. Bonner, you might recall, signed with the Fever as a free agent ahead of this season.
Over 9 games, she averaged 7 points and 3.8 rebounds and 1.6 assists. So she recently missed 5 straight games for what the Fever call personal reasons. Bonner did release a statement saying it just wasn't the right fit.
Now, McDonald recently came in and played 3 games with the Fever under the WNBA's emergency hardship exception. She spent last season with the LA Sparks. She was drafted number 3 overall by the Dream back in 21. And don't forget, WTHR is your local TV home of the Fever.
And we're going to air the upcoming game July 3rd here on Channel 13. Tip is at 7 that night. And we have 10 games left on our schedule for this season.
You can check out that schedule if you scan this QR code. It'll take you online to WTHR.com/fever.
And tonight is a big night, the first night of the draft.
That's right. The NBA, the season it just wrapped up and now already looking ahead. Round 1 starts tonight. It's at 8 o'clock. It's at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. The Mavericks of Dallas have the number 1 pick. They are expected to make the selection of Duke's Cooper Flagg.
Flagg is already being celebrated in his home state of Maine, with Governor Janet Mills declaring today Cooper Flagg Day. By the way, Pacers fans will have to wait another day to learn the team's next player.
The Pacers have just 1 pick overall, number 54, and that will be in the 2nd round.
Well, state budget cuts impacting the Indiana School for the Deaf.
The concerns expressed tonight for the hundreds of students who attend that school. It's ahead here at 5:30. Angela?
Emery, our heat wave continues with heat alerts through Friday. We're also tracking some storms. I'll have a radar update.
Claiming victory while speaking at the NATO summit.
The comments made by President Trump today and the questions still remaining when it comes to the conflict in the Middle East.